Now at 5:30 on WKYT this morning, the Democratic presidential candidates are paying some attention to Kentucky ahead of tomorrow's primary. We're live on the campaign trail.
Also on WKYT this morning, a busy street in Lexington, right in the heart of UK's campus, is closing today, and it will stay closed for a while. We're live with details on this traffic alert for your morning commute.
And 2 gas stations are robbed overnight within 30 minutes. Police don't know if the 2 are connected. That's ahead on WKYT this morning.
This is WKYT This Morning.
Good morning to you on your Monday. We hope you had a great weekend. Here we are, a chilly start to this day. Again, I'm Bill Bryant.
And I'm Michelle Chamberlain. Thanks so much for joining us. And all the talk's been about tomorrow's primary.
Yep.
It doesn't look like the weather's going to be good for it, for those heading out to vote.
It's going to be rainy here and there, it looks like. But, folks still need to get out there and do their, their duty, right? We do have temperatures in the 30s in some of our area this morning. Let's check in with meteorologist Micah Harris.
Yeah, you guys are exactly right. Today it's about the temperatures. Tomorrow it's about the rain moving on in. So let's talk about the temperatures right now. We're 39 degrees in Richmond, Danville, Perryville. You go into Gary County, Lancaster, and also work your way off into the Paint Lick region, holding on to temperatures there in the 30s. 40 southbound and southeast now, but we'll see if that actually declines as we go through the morning hours. So we'll finish off mid to upper 30s. By the afternoon, 62 degrees. That's still well below average. You can see no rain chance in the forecast today. I can't rule out a sprinkle, but for the most part, it stays dry. Then we head overnight and into tomorrow. I'd say just before midnight is when the rain moves in the west, and then it becomes widespread for some tomorrow, not everybody. I'm going to show you exactly where I expect this rain to move in and stay for the next 24 hours coming up.
Okay, see you then. Thank you.
Kentucky's primary election is tomorrow, and the Bluegrass has had plenty of attention from the Democratic presidential candidates over the weekend.
And that will continue today with Hillary Clinton set to make a few stops here in the Commonwealth. WKYT's Mark Barber is joining us live, looking ahead to Clinton's planned stop in Lexington this evening. Good morning, Mark.
Good morning, Bill. There are 60 delegates up for grabs in Kentucky tomorrow, and 5 of them are super delegates. This morning, as Hillary Clinton starts to make her final speeches to voters here, she will be aiming to scoop up as many of those delegates as possible to help secure the Democratic nomination. Now, Hillary Clinton will be making a stop in Bowling Green this morning. The former First Lady will then stop at Transylvania University later tonight. Clinton is expected to underscore her policies for job creation and education today. She says she will help struggling families find better opportunities to make more money. Clinton's rival, Senator Bernie Sanders, has also been campaigning in Kentucky recently. Over the weekend, he talked about his plans for free college, raising the minimum wage, and reforming the criminal justice system. In an interview for Kentucky Newsmakers, a political science professor at the University of Kentucky said one important issue for many Democratic voters tomorrow will be the candidates' policies on coal.
Well, the coal thing's kind of a puzzle because I can't believe anybody in coal country would think Bernie Sanders was going to adopt policies more supportive of, than Clinton would of the coal industry. But Hillary Clinton did make some statements that suggested hostility to coal, and you know how sometimes it's what you say that matters more than what you'll do.
Many voters will certainly be listening closely today to see if that will make its way into any of the conversations, any of the speeches today. Now, the event here at Transylvania University is free and open to the public. Doors will open here at the Clive Beck Center at 4:45 this afternoon. Clinton is expected to start speaking at 6:45. Live in Lexington, Mark Barber, WKYT.
Mark, thank you. And tomorrow's primary is closed. That means only voters who are registered as members of a particular political party may vote for that party's candidates. Only registered Democrats can vote for their favorite Democratic candidate tomorrow. Republicans, you'll recall, voted for their presidential candidate back in March in a caucus. Tomorrow is not just a day for Democrats, though. Both parties will be choosing nominees for U.S. Senator as well as for U.S. Representative. If you're a registered Democrat or Republican, you'll have races there. In some districts, state senator and representative candidates are also being chosen. The polls open at 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. Stay with WKYT News for all your Kentucky primary election coverage.
Donald Trump says Marco Rubio will, quote, absolutely not be Trump's VP. The presumptive GOP nominee is hitting back at a Washington Post report that suggests otherwise. The paper cites former candidate Ben Carson for those considered. He's part of Trump's search committee and suggested these 5 names: Rubio, John Kasich, Ted Cruz, Sarah Palin, and Chris Christie. This is what Trump posted on his Twitter, quote, "The Washington Post report on potential VP candidates is wrong. Marco Rubio and most others mentioned are not under consideration."
Okay, we have a traffic alert to pass along for you this morning. A busy street right in the heart of UK's campus will close this morning.
Yeah, and it's staying closed for a bit. WKYT's Mike Byer is live in Lexington this morning with more details on the closure. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning, Michelle. Avenue of Champions, a vital road drivers used to get across a big part of UK's campus, will be closed starting this morning. Now, it's going to affect drivers in a big way, so they're going to have to make other plans that they plan on using this road. As I mentioned, the closure starts this morning. It'll be from Lexington Avenue to South Limestone Street, and that will be closed for 2 months. Our news partners at the Lexington Hero Leader reports the closure stems from the $200 million rebuilding of the UK Student Center. Now, Lexington Avenue will remain open to traffic, and Martin Luther King Boulevard will be open for deliveries to Good Samaritan Hospital, but other vehicles will not be able to access Avenue of Champions. The road closure comes at the perfect time as the city's 5 newest safety officers will hit the roads for the first time today. They will help the police department's response times to traffic calls and help sworn officers deal with criminal activity. The safety officers can write citations for non-moving violations, help direct traffic, and help with the non-injury collisions. Now, the sidewalk that runs along the north side of Avenue of Champions will be open. The sidewalk right here will be open during the entire duration of the closing. It's a project that's going to lead to the brand new Student Center, which is scheduled to open in January of 2018. Live in Lexington, Mike Byer, WKYT.
New this morning, Lexington police are looking for suspects involved in 2 armed robberies. Police tell us the Marathon in the 1200 block of South Broadway was robbed around 1:50 this morning. We're told a tall man wearing dark clothes with his face covered was armed with a gun, demanded cash, and fled. At 2:15, police responded to a robbery at the Shell station in the 1900 block of Nicholasville Road. This suspect also wore dark clothing, was armed with a gun, demanded cash, and then fled. Police don't know if the 2 robberies are connected.
State police are investigating a crash that killed a Winchester teen. Troopers say yesterday morning, 19-year-old Alexis Thompson lost control on Clintonville Road in Bourbon County. Her car went off of the road and hit a fence and came to a stop in a driveway. Troopers say Thompson died at the scene. They believe her fatal injuries were caused by pieces of a wooden fence that came through her windshield. State police do not know yet why Thompson lost control. A Garrett County man is in jail after deputies say he led officers on a county-wide chase. Court records show deputies in Lancaster tried to pull Robert Aldrich over on Saturday night. They say his headlights weren't on, but then he turned them on and then sped off. They say Aldrich reached speeds of 120 miles an hour, and they called off the chase. Deputies later found him inside his crashed car. They say his wife and his 1-year-old were also inside. Aldrich is facing charges now, including wanton endangerment and unlawful imprisonment.
In Perry County, 5 people are in jail this morning after an armed robbery. State police say late Saturday night, 3 men and 2 women broke into Mike's Game Room on South Kentucky Highway 15 in Scuddy. Troopers say the group attacked Otis and Vicky Combs and robbed 2 others at gunpoint. Crews rushed Otis to Pikeville Medical Center. At last check, he was in critical condition. All 5 men and women face assault and robbery charges. We've learned some of the details explaining why radioactive waste was illegally dumped at a landfill in Estill County. The Courier-Journal reports that follow-up tests at a West Virginia company that sent their fracking waste to Kentucky show the company had material that was so hot it needed to go to a special landfill. The original shipments to Estill County were said to have been below the radioactivity threshold, but investigators are not sure what the radioactive intensity of the waste was. Reports show the West Virginia company also sent radioactive waste to a landfill in Greenup County.
So still a lot of questions and concerns in those areas. Well, 6 fallen police officers from Kentucky now have their names permanently etched into the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial.
Officer Daniel Ellis, Officer Burke Rhodes, Lieutenant Clifford Travis, and Troopers Eric Chrisman, Blake Tribby, and Cameron Ponder, along with hundreds of others, were all added over the weekend. Many filled the area around the U.S. Capitol for a special memorial service. One of the speakers at the memorial said it was up to the entire police community to look after the families of fallen officers.
We're there for you. They dedicated their lives to the work of watching over us. Now it is for us to watch over those they have left behind.
The president of the Fraternal Order of Police called for lawmakers inside the Capitol to pass laws that he said would protect officers.
Back here in Kentucky, a group of women helped support law enforcement. Wives Behind the Blue Line put together a fundraiser last night at the Fazoli's in Danville. The restaurant donated 20% of its sales to the organization.
Today is National Peace Officer Memorial Day. And as a police wife, we hear a lot of people say, what can I do to show my appreciation? So we just thought this would be a good opportunity to invite the community to come out, meet the officers.
Officers from several agencies helped serve food to the customers.
In Hardin County, first responders trained for a different kind of rescue they might encounter. Rescue crews from different agencies throughout central Kentucky came together yesterday to try their hands at a livestock rescue. They had to pull to safety a 650-pound replica horse that had fallen from a steep cliff. The public safety director in Anderson County led the session.
And our time this morning, 5:41, 19 before 6 on WKYT this morning. And let's check live drive traffic bright and early, see what's going on out there. Of course, once again, remember that we do have some cold conditions out there this morning, so don't forget a light jacket at least as you head out this morning. Lots of clean and green locations this morning with a few delays being reported. It looks like it's a good ride in from Nicholasville, Versailles, Frankfort this morning, Winchester and Paris, all about normal commute times right now. We'll keep you informed, and Officer Dodd will be here at the top of the hour, and he'll let us know what's going on as we head toward the rush hour this morning.
Yeah, it's good to start your work week without traffic.
That's right, without any troubles anyway. More news coming up for you Monday morning on WKYT.
So what's the strangest listing you've ever seen on Craigslist? Don't answer that, because we're looking at one involving a bison. That's coming up after Micah's forecast.
Clouds are in the increase from the west. This is going to move on in. Fortunately, we're not going to see a lot of chances of rain today. It's actually tonight and into tomorrow. I'm going to show you when it moves on in and how to prepare for the next couple of days coming up.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with meteorologist Micah Harris.
The main focus for today is actually what we're dealing with this morning. That frost advisory in effect across the region, northeast, southern zones, central zones, not so much the west and southwest, but you guys are still looking at chilly conditions. Don't get me wrong. We're still talking about some upper 30s to lower 40s there across Danville, and then work your way back towards Springfield, just south of that, into Marion and also Taylor County, still dealing with some pretty chilly conditions. But 37 now in Frankfort. We look toward Jackson at 41, London, Corbin area coming in at 42 degrees, and Lexington sitting here at 40 degrees. So some patchy frost this morning. We still have another 2 hours before, an hour and a half really, before we start to see those temperatures really take a dive. And we head off into the afternoon at 62 degrees. Pretty decent day. Still on the cooler side of things, still about 10 degrees below average. But those clouds will be on the increase. One thing we cannot do out of those clouds, we can't rule out maybe a stray sprinkle or so before the sun sets. It's really after the sun sets that we start to see some rain move on in. Look at this, anywhere from 8, 9, 10, 11 p.m. Here comes a couple of showers, but really it's overnight and into tomorrow. Look at this. Yeah, it's pretty widespread. That front drives right over us. And tomorrow morning at this time, will be very soggy. Trying to get the kids out the door to head out to the bus stop. It's going to be one of those mornings that you may have to pull up to the bus stop and just let them sit in the car until the rain, or until the bus actually arrives, because the rain will be around tomorrow. This funnels on through, I would say, I-64 corridor and northbound. That is the best bet to pick up right around an inch of rain. Southern half, I want to show you this, okay? Here's noontime. Watch this front lift north, and when that happens, watch the warm air nudge in down toward the south. Look at this big temperature swing. We're talking 50s northbound, 50s and 60s in the central zones, and then you're talking lower 70s down south. So you're talking about a 20-degree swing from north to south. That's pretty mild down south, but up north, you're still talking about some pretty cool conditions. So it all depends on where you are tomorrow, which will depend on that temperature, a few rumbles here and there. Most of that's just showers moving on in. Honestly, I don't see a severe chance anytime soon. The best chances of rain tomorrow, Friday, Saturday. This Wednesday rain really moves out during the morning hours, right there around 9, 10 a.m. After that, it looks pretty good. So it's mainly dry today. It's mainly dry there on Wednesday, Thursday, and even on Sunday. So most of your days this week actually stay dry. But when the soggy conditions move on in, I mean, you're talking pretty soggy. Tuesday, like I said, tomorrow, it's some widespread showers and a couple of rumbles of thunder. Friday and Saturday, this system's coming in from the south, and it will drive in a lot of moisture. Those 2 days look very soggy. If you're trying to make any plans, any outdoor activities, just know, have a backup plan.
Consider others, huh?
Yeah, you better. As of right now. We're still days away, but you know what? We'll see how that turns out.
Have some good news for you about tomorrow.
Hit me.
Okay.
Oh, no. I'm like, what's going to be said?
No. Primary election day means most schools are closed tomorrow.
Oh,
so,
good.
Yeah, so
Okay.
make it,
Yeah, that's good.
you know,
That's
so
good
it's
for
not
a lot
good
of
for voters, but at least
Right.
most of the schools will be
Kids
closed.
aren't standing
yeah,
out there.
right, out in the rain.
Right.
Time this morning is 5:48, and seeing weird things up for sale on Craigslist isn't all that uncommon, but it's not every day that you see a listing for a pet bison.
No, it's not. A Texas ranch owner listed a 1,000-pound housebroken, attention-loving bison for sale back in March. Now, she says she reluctantly created the ad for her beloved bison named Bullet. After 2 months of searching, Bullet went to her new home this weekend. She'll live on a pasture with a couple of cows as friends. And the good news, her former owner gets to visit whenever she wants.
Well, probably more
What gets better
room
than
than
that?
that. I mean, look, it's just walking up and down halls.
I didn't even see it.
It'd be pretty tough.
So she's actually a pet bison in her
right.
home.
So
So
yeah.
why sell her, I wonder?
So, I don't know, but we want to give her some room to roam. You know, it's only fair,
I have
right?
a feeling that woman's going to be at the new farm often.
I would say so.
So coming up, you'll get the stories making news at this hour.
We'll be checking traffic again. We'll see how things are moving along out there this morning. We have some health news and a lot more. And it's so good to have you with us on WKYT this morning. Good morning. Welcome back into WKYT this morning. We're glad you're with us this morning. Hope it was a nice weekend for you. Our time right now coming up on 5:53.
Let's take a look at some of the stories we're working on at this hour.
Today, Democratic presidential candidate Hillary Clinton will campaign in Lexington. That's ahead of tomorrow's primary election. Clinton will hold a Get Out the Vote rally at Transylvania University later this evening. Doors will open for that event at 4:45 this afternoon. The actual event is in the 6 o'clock hour.
Presidential contenders are making a final push for votes ahead of not only the primary here in Kentucky, but there's one in Oregon, too.
Donald Trump is looking to add to his delegate count in Oregon, but is still facing a challenge in getting Republican leaders to unite behind him. Democrat Hillary Clinton is hoping to upset rival Bernie Sanders in both states and then be able to turn her full attention to a general election matchup against Trump.
Researchers at Georgetown University say a father's lifestyle and age may affect children's health.
Doctors linked older fathers to higher rates of schizophrenia, autism, and birth defects in children, and up to 3/4 of babies with fetal alcohol problems had alcoholic fathers. A new study is suggesting that new mothers who are working under 19 hours a week are more likely to continue breastfeeding than mothers working longer hours. Australian researchers found when exactly mothers returned to work had less of an impact.
An experimental procedure is giving relief to patients with advanced emphysema. Doctors in Pittsburgh are inserting tiny coils into the lungs that are helping patients breathe and exercise easier. Let's get a check this hour on today's traffic trouble spots with Live Drive Traffic. All is well out there so far this morning, but just know that a portion of Avenue of Champions is closed, and that will remain closed for quite a bit. Time to check with what's making news online this morning. Bill joins us now with what's happening on the net.
All right, Michelle, coming up on 5:55 and right now on WKYT.com. It's a really chilly start out there. We do have a frost advisory in a lot of our viewing area until 9 o'clock this morning. Our website, always your first stop for the latest weather. And we're covering all the angles ahead of tomorrow's Kentucky primary. Democratic presidential candidates Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders have been on the move across Kentucky. Clinton continuing with that campaign rally in Lexington tonight. WKYT's Sean Moody covered the moving weekend in Washington as law enforcement officers are remembered. This year, 6 of the 126 names added to a national memorial are those of Kentuckians. We have Sean's reports uploaded to our website. A movie crew scouting central Kentucky for locations. The movie is to be based on FBI agent Mark Putnam, who confessed to killing a pregnant informant. The Bourbon County Courthouse among the places being looked at for that. Kentucky.com has the story of UK starting a web website to inform Kentuckians about the Zika virus. It comes as the mosquitoes start showing up in our area. Also, a new effort to keep downtown Lexington clean and safe is getting a $25,000 loan to start up its efforts. And CBS This Morning is coming up at 7 with your eye opener. And of course, we'll have local updates. Join us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter or Instagram, and for the latest news anytime, WKYT.com.
Obviously, the main focus the rest of the morning is going to be that frost advisory in effect through 9 a.m. There is a freeze warning far northern zones, Lewis to Greenup to Carter back toward Boyd. Those are the only areas. The rest of us just sitting there with that frost advisory. And temperatures in some locations actually won't reach the frost advisory area or numbers rather, and we're sitting there at 44 degrees in London. It's going to be hard pressed to actually get there at frost to actually allow that frost to form. Lexington at 40 degrees, it's possible, but doesn't seem highly likely that we'll actually reach it. But nonetheless, the frost advisory is still there. And it looks like some of us will still be dealing with it, especially northbound. We're there in the mid-30s. By the afternoon, 62 degrees, clouds on the increase all day long. It looks like we go up into the night and into tomorrow. That's when the best chance of rain comes. I'm going to break that down for you hour by hour with another hour of WKYT News.